This is not regular programming. It's a one-on-one with the Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS. Joining me today is a man whose career bridges the worlds of policy, academia, and democratic reforms. I'm talking about a former Minister of National Planning, an astute academic, and a respected professor of political science. As the Director General of NILDS, he leads one of Africa's most influential institutions at the heart of governance. It's my honor to welcome to Democracy Radio again the highly influential, intellectual, visionary leader who combines sharp analytic depth and unrelenting drive for excellence. He's the wind beneath our sails here on Democracy Radio, Professor Abubakar Olanrewaju Sulaiman. You're welcome, sir.
How are you?
Very well, thank you, sir.
Well done. Good morning.
All right, sir. So as you approach your 60th birthday, we decided to have a sit down with you to dig deep into the magnitude of your mind. You have come off as somebody who's very highly intelligent, highly analytical, and will be doing the world a disfavor if we don't let them into all of that unfiltered. That's how this conversation is going to go today. So before we start with all the policy and all the legislative talk, let's go back to childhood.
You're welcome.
Yes. So talk to us about your 10-year-old self. Is this what you saw yourself doing when you were 10? You know how children want to be doctors, lawyers, I want to be this, I want to be that. The vision you had of yourself when you were 10, is this it? Or is it better and bigger?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me in your studio. And thanks for a wonderful job being done by your team.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for joining other Nigerians to wish me happy birthday in advance.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, to answer the question, my vision at 10,
Yes,
or my vision between adolescent to when I was 10 years old, it wasn't that easy for a child at 2, 3 to know where he was going. It's just for the parent to start visualizing, observing, looking at the disposition, the body language of the child. But yes, maybe at roughly close to 10, maybe I could observe or say that tendency, maybe probably from my religious background and my family background, a purely religious home, purely Islamic in nature, brought up in Islamic way, and tutor, to memorize Quran up to half of the Quran, tutor to imbibe the ethics of Islam, tutor to imbibe the virtues of, the religion, and sent to Arabic school, what they call Makaratu Allo in the Hausa land and Islamia. And at 9, was taken to Mecca. That's very tender, young age, taken to Saudi Arabia for pilgrimage. So I could say in between that 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yes.
maybe my vision from the way the parents tried to tutor me, mentor me, brought me up, maybe it was to be a clergy at that point in time. But I tend to see myself that way. Within that 8, 9, I could recall vividly when I was taken to Mecca at 9 years old. The Arabs in Mecca, insisted. They told my my maternal grandfather that no, from the versatility of this child, we wouldn't want him to go back because they could see the way I was reciting Quran, memorizing Quran, how eloquent I was in the Arabic. I said, no, please, want this child to be with us. In Medina, they insisted I should stay with them. When we get to Mecca, the Mecca people too say I should stay with them. So I could see in me, I've been molded in that way. And I just, okay, maybe I take over my grandparents, my parents, in the clergy way. So between 8, 9, if I'm to go back to your question, I think saw myself then as someone that would take over from my parents. A malam, a clergy, an alpha, what the Yoruba people would normally put
Interesting.
it. So in between that time, that was what I could see in me. I never thought, I never envisaged, I never saw it coming. That we read, go to Western education and got to the level I got to as a professor. So in between that 7, 8, 9, 10, if you are to ask me that question 100 times, I will say yes. I saw myself as a malam, because of what the parents have done, because of what I saw in myself, because of what I tried to exhibit that time, which was properly and maximally exhibited at that tender age. That was the only thing I put.
Okay.
In fact, when I go to school that time, primary schools, Aluri LSMB school, I wasn't saying about the Western education, perhaps, but for the Arabic, for the Quran, yes, I was very, very, very good. So, yeah,
Wow.
I think
Okay.
that was the vision then.
All right. Now, this question is also about the time when you were young, but no specific age. At what time did you just know that? Because you're an exceptional leader. You make people do things, even things they didn't think was possible. You help people to see beyond their immediate capacities. At what point did you feel that pull of leadership, like something you told you or tells you, I think I'm going to be a great leader? Is there any event you can hold on to and say, at this point, I just knew I'll be a great leader?
The issue of greatness, leadership is different.
Yeah.
Being a great leader is different. The leadership, mentorship, or discovery, I would say maybe started when I was in secondary school.
Okay.
When I was in secondary school, that is Bala, government secondary school Bala, which was known then as community secondary school then.
Okay.
When I was in secondary school, at the age of, maybe when I was in, now you call it JSS, but that time we call it Form 2. Yeah. At Form 2, I was already the president of MSS, what you call the Muslim Society of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was already the imam at Form 2.
Form 2. Okay.
I was already the imam of the school. I was already the president of MSS, the Muslim Society of Nigeria, of my, secondary school chapter. And I was already the leader of the music group. There's a musical group set up that time, which was, that time in Ilorin or Kwara State, there's this called the Fuji music,
Yes.
the cultural group. So the Fuji music group, the cultural group, I was the leader of the group.
So leadership came
You understand?
naturally to you.
So
Wow.
3 things now: MSS, Imam, and the cultural group. So if you break it down into sections of, okay, in this secondary school, who are the traits of leadership?
Right.
I was leading the Islamic group, both in the mosque, leading the group, both at the level of association, and leading the cultural group, both at the level of, the musical chapter. So that time I could see in me, and people could see in me, that leadership traits. I could see in me 2 years, and that leadership, I held on to the leadership from 2 up till the time I left the secondary school.
You held those positions?
Yeah.
Wow.
And by the time I left secondary school, I moved to Kwara State College of Technology, which is now known Kwara State Polytechnic. When I got to Kwara State Polytechnic too, I became the secretary. When you talk of in the secondary school, is the numbers of school in secondary school, more or less that time it was a community secondary school, maybe not up to 200 initially, but at the Polytechnic, you have conglomerate of so many people from so many parts of the country.
Sure.
You understand?
Yes.
and I emerged as the secretary of the Muslim Society of Nigeria of that polytechnic for 3 years. So you could see it was the leadership ascendancy was not accidental. It was a kind of what the military would call, I got there through the rank. It was a tutelage. It was something that I was groomed into. You understand? So, and I can start counting. So, from secondary to polytechnic to university, one responsibility or the other has been bestowed on me. And I want to believe that for all responsibility given to me, I try to carry them out, responsibly, effectively, and efficiently.
That's amazing. That is amazing. It's obviously showing off now because we're about to pivot into talking about NILD. Your exceptional leadership in the last 6 years and counting that you have been there. Talk to us about the most misunderstood mandate of NILD. So some people come into contact with the institute and they're like, is it National Assembly? Is it a training school? They are offering courses with universities. So there's some misconception about NILD. What exactly is the most misunderstood mandate of NILD that you've heard and that you want to clear the air on?
The most misunderstood?
Yes, mandate of NILD.
Misunderstood?
Yes, misunderstood.
I wouldn't know what you are thinking. I want to form the question.
So that,
but if I got your question very well, as a student of politics, the most misunderstood aspect of our mandate is people thinking that needs, because of our visibility, vibrancy, prominence, activities, they believe we have money. They can give out money.
Right. Okay.
You understand? So we see partners, a lot of associations, a lot of governmental organizations, even individuals, even politicians coming to say, please support us for this. And when they say support, they write and put bank accounts. Meanwhile, the mandate of the institute is to provide technical assistance, intervention. You understand? It's not to give money. So if I'm to answer the question very well, if the misunderstood aspect is because, that institute today is one of the most, feasible, one of the most conspicuous, one of the most, prominent. So, they must be very rich. And we are not rich. Okay. But because of our output, our productivity, you understand, our reach, our contours of progress and activities, our impactful and transformative, intervention in so many areas. They believe we have the risk. We don't have the money. We have the technical skill. We have the materials. We have the technical know-how. We have quite a lot of, partnership all over the world that support us technically. That is what is keeping us on. And leadership, commitment. The staff are there. So the misunderstood aspects, which I try to, downplay or even try to resist, is for instance, a politician to approach DG and say, DG, please, I need to travel. Support me financially. I said, no, that is not our mandate.
That's not our mandate, yeah.
In any case, we don't have the money. Okay. And where we have the money, that is not our mandate. So, and a lot of other organizations too that comes. We want to partner with you. We want to collaborate with you. So please, what you want to do? Support us with money. Even my colleagues in the university, when they, DG, please, we need your support from the department of full science, part of this and that. I said, we don't have the money. We can support you technically. We can partner with you in this area. So the misunderstood aspect, which is the normal thing with so many organizations, is that they believe you have the money and that is why you are able to do what you are doing. And we don't have money. We are doing what we are doing because we have commitment.
Now, on that, riding on the back of that, let's talk about how you've been able to achieve the extent of development, of reach that you've achieved at NILS, despite this challenge of not having all the money you wish that you would need. You've been able to still do something, and not just something. It's loud, like the Gen Z would say. It's loud. We can see it. How have you been able to manage resources? Is it something that comes from maybe some personal experience, or is it just a commitment, the doggedness? I'm not going to fail regardless. What exactly is it? Because I believe that there's a lot to learn from that.
You see, for any organization to achieve whatever man they set out to achieve, the first thing you need is vision.
Okay.
You must have that vision. What do you want to realize? What's your philosophy? What do you set out for yourself to achieve? You come into an organization as the head of the organization, you don't have any vision, you don't have anything you want to achieve. You don't have a clear-cut, focus. You don't have a conceived and identifiable, mission. The first thing, you must have a vision, a clear-cut vision. Okay. Why am I here? Before I got into this studio this morning, I must have, what am I going to do? What will I say? Yeah, question might come accidental, but at least I must have something, that brought me here. And I must have what I want to address in mind. So the first thing is a leader must be visionary. What do you want to achieve? The next 3 months, the next 2 years, the next 4 years. You understand? You don't just stumble into the organization. So the first thing that has helped me, one of the most important variables or factor, is that I came with a vision. When I was the Minister of National Planning, people had this notion that national planning is a dry ministry.
Right.
Oh, that was notion. Oh, national planning. Oh, that's one. Nothing there. It's about planning. It's about books. It's about literature. It's about data. In any case, what are the MDs on that national plan? What are the various agencies on that national plan? Oh, Bureau of Statistics, NISA, CMD. Nothing. It wasn't juicy. And I had 1 year to spend, or less than 1 year. But even then, I came with a vision. Because, within this 1 year, what do I want to achieve? And by the time you go back to national planning, someone was just telling me yesterday that he was reading about my stewardship national planning, and he saw the areas of things I achieved within 9 or 11 months. He couldn't believe it. People must have forgotten, for instance, that what we call the National Integrated Master Plan of Nigeria today was conceived in national planning, was approved under my leadership as Minister of National Planning. So that all the rail station you are talking about today, all the infrastructure you are talking about today, all the power I talked about today, was consummated in that plan, in that strategic document, which I took to Federal Executive Council, got it approved, and today it became what we are implementing. People have forgotten that official development, document, you understand, what you call ODA, was conceived under my leadership as Minister of National Planning, got into FEC, approved, is now the guide of the various donor agencies in the country. People have forgotten that we fought Ebola under my leadership in national planning with the support of so many donor agents that I was able to mobilize. People have forgotten that under my leadership as National Planning Minister, we got the support of Chinese government to train 210 Nigerians pro bono in China. And I can start counting. So that is vision for you. That is management. And one of the things, when I got into national planning as minister, I said, look, you can't be talking of planning, strategic planning, economic plan for a country. And you can't be coordinating, such roadmap for a country. And you keep the budget component of the country in another ministry. I fought it. That's why when I left, when Buhari government came, they wrote on walls, I did, and brought in budget to national planning since that time. So I can start. So the point I'm making is that when you got into an organization, the first thing you need, as we are coming in, is you must conceive a vision. Okay. What is your vision? Okay. So I had a vision in mind. Mm-hmm. When I was coming as DG of the institute, there was this misgiving. There was this fear among the staff of this man that is coming. Yeah, I was a minister. Doesn't know how we run this place. We don't know how to manage this place. Oh, a student of political science. We don't know how to manage a democratic and legislative institution. Come on. You understand? So they had that notion that, they need an internal person from within that know how the workings. But that came with a vision. And when I took over, my letter of appointment was on the 28th of May, 2019. I got into the office 3rd of June, 2019. I addressed the media 3rd of June, 2019. Mm-hmm. And in that press briefing, I rolled out my vision. And everything I said I wanted to achieve, within 4 years, I achieved everything, including setting up of this radio station. As a matter of fact, perhaps I never knew I'm going to get second term reappointment, but this place was commissioned on 24 May, am I right? 2023. Just me 4 days to the aspirations of my first term. I envisioned the completions of permanent site. It was commissioned 25th of May, 2023. Just 3 days to the aspirations of my first time. I envisioned setting up a security analysis component of the institute. The security center was commissioned 24th of May, 2023. Just 4 days to my first time. I promised my staff that I discovered that international capacity building program. I've not been going around. It's that it was done on patronage. And I told them, look, I will ensure we can't be training parliamentarians without you two being trained. If we're exposing senators and House of members to international best practices, we must expose you to. And within 6 months of my stewardship, 6 months, between May to November, I sent out 64 staff of the institute to various countries in this world.
That's impressive. And
by the time I was done with my first time, all my staff that I met on ground, all, no exception, I've traveled for one training program or the other outside the country. In any case, when this 10th Assembly took over, one of the what do I call a kind of query I received, let me use that word, was to say, DG, you have been sending your staff for international training at our expense. It should be our slot. I said, yes, I agree with you. Thanks to the Chief of Staff, former Speaker, who came on my defense that, yes, DG has been sending us too, but DG said the priority first is the staff, because the staff are to train us. So all these things were born out of visions. Hate me, love me, like me, I don't care. But the point is that I've told you this is what I wanted to achieve. And within 4 years, I was able to achieve everything and more than what I even intended to achieve. So the first thing for a leader is, one, you must have a vision. And you must have that commitment. You understand?
I'm curious. Did you face opposition? Because
no,
someone listening to you might think, probably had it easy. So much
I just told you about the
bank
query I
and all that.
received now.
Yes.
It's a verbal query anyway,
Yes.
openly.
Yeah.
A lot of resistance anyway.
Okay.
A lot of opposition. Yeah. Okay. Oh, in fact, my emergence was opposed.
Oh, okay.
My survival came with a lot of, politics and wrangling intrigues there and there. All this thing I'm saying wasn't free flow, it wasn't smooth selling, enterprises. It was our resistance from outside and from within. But you don't count all these odds rather. You don't talk about challenges. You don't talk about impediment. You don't about the constraint. You talk about achievements, accomplishments. Nobody wants to identify with the risk. Nobody wants to see the pain, the agony, the travails. They don't want to hear that story. What they want to hear is, you say you are going to set up a radio station. Where is that station? If I tell you the story of this station, you'll be marveled. There's nothing I tried putting my hands into that came so easy. You understand? But at least today, we are where we are today.
Yes, indeed.
You understand? So there are all those there and there. So the first thing is the vision. You have the commitment. You have a focus. And identify means of achieving it. Prioritize those means. Should this one fail, how do I go about this? When we try to get the radio stations and the license was not coming, we have to find a way of getting another license. Because of the bureaucratic bottleneck in NBC. We have to find a way of getting license and get it through. You understand? When do we have a consultant that help us, starting this radio, and it was not forthcoming, we have to get another consultant. So I can tell stories about how this place came up. It wasn't, so the same thing applied to other programs, other projects. You want to talk about the permanent site that was abandoned for 6 years? Yeah? How did we, the day we commissioned that permanent site, we ran on generator. For 8 months when we even moved into the permanent site, took occupation, we were running on diesel.
For 8 months.
Mr. President then, Muhammad Buhari, was using arm fan to quench the sweats. It was that bad because people just believe we will not allow you to occupy this place. We will not allow you to commission. Against all odds, I stood firm. This place must be commissioned. It must not only be commissioned, it must be occupied. So we have a long story to tell.
Yes, indeed.
Because people that you are paying rent to at Danube, they wouldn't want you to leave.
Yes, of course.
Or other things from within.
Yeah.
So there are stories to tell.
Okay. Indeed, there are stories to tell. We'll take a quick break here, and when we come back, one-on-one with the DG of NILT, we'll continue. Don't go away. Welcome back. It's still Democracy Radio 104.9 FM, and this is a special edition of the one-on-one with the DG of NILT, Professor Abubakar Olanrewaju Sulaiman. As he marks 60, or as he turns 60 in a couple of weeks, we have decided to have an unfiltered conversation with him. Let's hear his thoughts on certain important issues like leadership, talk to us about the institute and future. But that is coming later. You need to stay tuned for that. All right, sir, we've been talking about NILT. Now, let's talk about, because I know that part of what NILT does is, like you said, technical support, policy formation and things like that. Can you talk to us about one policy that NILT championed or influenced that you believe could transform Nigeria if it was fully implemented?
You see, we have quite a lot of programs, projects, initiatives that we championed at the institute, that if Nigerian government or even the informal structures or informal structure like political parties, like the NGOs, if they could employ, imbibe, or adapt to it, will shape our country better. But this is not the time for me to go into all the areas of those programs and projects. But one unique one that I believe our government need to look into, which we initiated, was the issue of funding of our tertiary institution.
Okay.
You see, the institute at the twilight of the last regime came out with a study on how better we can run the university or tertiary institutions. And one of the things we said is, look, our colleagues in the university may try to disagree with us. Two things. The funding of the university by federal government needs to be de-emphasized. If government could deregulate the telecom sector, with due respect, deregulate the power sector, I think it's high time we regulate the education sector, especially at the level of the tertiary. Primary, what you call the basic education, primary, secondary, yeah, government funding is very necessary. But when it comes to tertiary institutions, college of educations, polytechnic, university, I think they should de-emphasize that.
Okay.
Why I'm saying that, yeah, the regulatory framework should be there to guide, supervise, and ensure compliance to certain basic tenets and basic standards, so that they will not, derail. But in terms of funding, in terms of administration, in terms of employment, in terms of who govern, who administer, that shouldn't be the responsibility of federal government. So we came up with a study which was submitted to federal government that time. And in that study, I think we talk about the issue of TED fund, some of this intervention fund to institutions. And we are saying, okay, if federal government is severing from funding, administrations of university, for instance, the TED fund can still be there to assist them. But how? TED fund intervention is in the areas of infrastructure, is in the areas of capital projects. Why not look into the areas of overhead, personnel? Can't we just, amend the acts that set up TED fund? Widen the scope.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into the details of all these two studies now. Yeah. So it's one area that we believe, if what we submitted to federal government that time is being looked into, at least a lot of things will be corrected. Secondly, or thirdly, was who administered the university. There's this belief that in Nigeria, it must be a professor. It's my belief. Even recently, I was at not only university. Recently, I was at National Hospital.
Okay.
And I saw some things. I wouldn't want to go into details now. And we are discussing with some doctor there, and I say, give me this hospital to administer. I will do better than the medical personnel. My own is to mobilize the medical people. In terms of supervision, in terms of administration, in terms of mobilization, leave it for administration to handle. Right. I don't need to be a doctor, a medical doctor.
Okay. So you believe the same thing applies in the education sector?
If industrialists, if Dangote, who never read something about energy, could be doing very well in energy sector. You understand?
Yes.
Dangote can be a good administrator when it comes to health sector. This is just notion. So we have all this study in place, which in line with our mandates have been submitted to federal government to look into. So it's one area I believe if government listens to us, you understand, a lot of things will go better. So for university, we don't need a professor, for instance.
I see.
You need a seasoned administrator, a technocrat. He can run the university very well. His own is to just mobilize all the professors, gather them. You understand? Utilize them very well. Put in the infrastructure, put in the skill, put in the technical know-how, assemble them and let them do, and make sure, because we have a lot of our colleagues who claim to be university lecturer, they are here today, and they have other part-time lecturing in about 3 other places. So in terms of compliance, in terms of efficiency, in terms of belief, they are not even doing it. So in the spirit of esprit de corps, they are colleagues. Nobody cares. The students that could not get what they should get in terms of, dividends, in terms of benefits, value for money. The parents could not get what they should get. So these are issues. Even in terms of discipline, in terms of ethics, minimum standard, requirements of academics. So we have all these areas of issues that we need to look into. So we have all the studies on ground. We submitted to federal government, and I would believe that if well utilized, as did you say, go around and see some of the infrastructure in some universities, tertiary institutions. I would They are being dilapidated out. They are being, mismanaged. Inadequate utilizations of resources. So, I would want to go into that detail. So, the second aspect of the issue of gender parity.
Yes.
Our institute is at the fore, here when it comes to gender advocacy, the issue of gender parity, the issue of equity to women, youth, and people, that are physically challenged.
Yes.
So, it's one other areas that in the last 2 years we have been the focal points. So we have a lot of some of the bills that have to do with this special. What do you call it? Reserved seats for women.
For women, yes.
That has passed through the second readings. A lot of them emanated from the institute. So we have been the major advocates. Not only advocate in theory, but advocate in practice. Trying to put, data together. Compare what obtains from other African countries, Rwanda, Kenya, Somalia, South Africa, visit our own country. And we are saying, look, if because of the weakly nature of women, because of the economic situation, because of our culture and value system, there's no how women can compete favorably with men if you don't give them this reserved seats. So these are some of the policies, agenda set for Nigerian federal government, be it at the level of the legislature and the executive. If they look into it, I think better for us as a people.
Okay, for the purpose of public knowledge, where does NILT's influence end? When you have, so you've talked about these policies, you propose it and you pass it on to the legislature. At what point does, or let me ask it this way, what extent of influence does NILT's have to see that these come to life?
You see, unlike other organizations and agencies, NILT's is under National Assembly.
Yes.
It's an agency under National Assembly. Our chairman, leadership of National Assembly,
Yes.
The Governing Council headed by this Right Honorable Speaker and the Senate President. But we have 6 senators in our council. We have 6 members from the House of Rep in our council. We have the Clerk National Assembly in our council. We have the chairman of the commission in our council. So, NILT's is more or less National Assembly. So it's not just for us to submit reports, submit briefs, submit data, submit bills.
Yes.
It's for us to follow up. So we do a lot of engagement, dialogue session, interaction, lobby of the same National Assembly member. And because my experience too as a politician too, I did a lot of politicking too to get things done. Because if you just sit down, we have done it, send it to them, and you're just watching. You're on your own. Lobby process is part of parliamentary procedure.
Sure.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we do lobby too. Your Excellency, I think this thing you can take it as your own project. We do it even beyond National Assembly, and that is why some of the things we were able to get done, we're able to get it done because we employ all these approaches. So it's not just for us to submit. Then my technical team do the study.
Right.
They do the brief, analyze data. At the level of leadership of the institute, I follow up.
You follow up. Okay.
And that is very, very important. If you sit in your office and say, yes, I'm your guy, notice we move. It's not just for us to theorize. It's for us to see that our various theories are being, practicalized. And that's the essence of governance in a democracy.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, although you've already talked about it a little bit, well, we know that you're passionate about health. We've heard you say it several times that you're very passionate about health. Is there, you've talked about the fact that it's not necessary that medical professionals head medical institutions, but talking about the health status or the status of health industry in Nigeria or health sector in Nigeria, what is one thing that you feel if it is employed, it will cause a wave and outrightly a change in the health sector?
Leadership.
Leadership.
Yeah.
Not more funding, not more infrastructure.
Leadership.
Really.
Leadership. Get the right set of people to man the various sector.
Okay.
You turn everything around. Leadership.
Wow.
Certain sector must not be politicized.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be done on the basis of grammar.
Okay.
Oh, this one can speak grammar. Or this one has read up to professorial something. You see, when I see people appointing people that have excelled in the areas of certain area as the head,
Yes.
maybe they are not born to lead. Their skill, perhaps, is at a certain level.
Okay.
Some people are born to lead. If you are a good, what do you call it, surgeon, your skill is in that area. If you now say, that man who is the professor of, should not go and be the head of one hospital, I don't be able to perform.
So leadership is natural?
Of course.
Not learned?
You may not even have the temperament to lead.
Okay.
You may not have the skill to mobilize.
That's another point of
The
view.
perseverance, so if you say, okay, do it this way, you may not have, you understand?
Right.
Even the rich, the networking may not be there. All this is required when it comes to leadership. Okay, you see a professor of this and that, but when you go to his house, he doesn't have a wife. Or maybe he has cases of divorce up to 3-4 times. I want him to lead the university or hospital when he cannot even lead his own.
Wow. Okay.
So there are two. You see, Plato talk about philosophy king, talk about justice. And he said the essence of justice is to the extent to which you're able to mobilize resources to achieve certain goal.
Okay.
In one of his saying.
Okay.
You understand? We have this habit. When I was the minister of national planning, there was this minister, my colleagues, the youngest in cabinet. Was one of the best, I don't know whether it's surgeon or no, but that's something very intelligent, Nuruddin. So when they appointed Nuruddin as Minister of Foreign Affairs, that's a misplacement of priority with due respect to my boss.
Okay.
Less than 10 years experience in medical line, very intelligent, very sound guy, and you now brought it to Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. That was a misplacement. It's not done anywhere. You understand? It was not caught for that.
I see.
So we try to, underutilize, misapply skills. You understand?
Yeah.
So the fact that you are good, you are a professor of this and that, does not mean you have what it takes to lead. They are two different things.
Okay.
Put him there, pay him pay him more than what the GM, could not get. Some of your staff here that work for you, they can get better pay than yourself. Everybody has his own, specialty. True. You understand? So these are issues that I'm trying to grapple with. We must be able to look at this. The health sector needs leadership. I'm not trying to say or try to belittle to anybody. You understand? What I'm saying, one of the problems we have in this country is in the area of health system.
Okay.
We need serious overhauling. You understand? So you need to look into it. You can turn around a country by revisiting its education and health.
Right.
You understand? If those things are fixed, if the education sector is fixed, we are going to fix our energy sector. If we have vibrant, what do you call it? Manpower, we are going to fix our infrastructure. You understand?
Right.
So we are sunken trillions in the areas of power over the years, for the past 30 years now. Power has been taking our money, our resources.
Okay.
And we have not achieved anything. The question is, what went wrong?
So you're looking at it from point of view of address the issue of education?
You have to address the issue of education.
So that we have
You have to address the issue of health.
trained people
You understand?
to administer.
When you have all these, it will percolate down to other sectors.
To other sectors. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, that is a very wow moment there. All right, now let's come down to you now. Now, as you approach 60, we know it's public knowledge you're a very legacy conscious person. Can you talk to us about one or two things that you've done in the space of time you've been minister and DG of NILT that is something you want to go down in history as? You've done quite a lot, so it might be hard to pick, one or two things you've done that you want to go down in history as a legacy for you.
I think I've said quite a while.
A lot
of these things.
Is there any of them, just pick from the basket that this particular thing, I'll boast about it forever?
I wouldn't know which one to pick now.
Yes, I knew that's going to be hard.
I think one major thing that that strike out,
yes,
and that's once maybe my colleagues to remember me for, because it's an ongoing process. I'm still there as a DG.
Yes.
And I don't know whether I'm going to live as DG. And I'm still there serving this country.
Okay.
I think it's in the area of manpower development.
Right.
Capacity development.
Okay.
In the area of mentorship. As a DG of NILT, one of the most striking, phenomenal projects on my program is developing the capacity of the younger ones. We have what we call the LMI, just conceived by the former speaker, but nurtured by me in the institute. We have the legislative drafting internship, conceived by me, nurtured by me, ongoing by me, where we try to develop the capacity of young legal graduates in the areas of legislative drafting.
Right.
We employ them, we recruit them, train them for 3 months, pay them stipend, and we do it pro bono. Now is the only agency in Nigeria, if not in West Africa, that is now training drafters in West Africa.
Okay.
And these are young people. At the end of each of this training, I try to retain the best of them.
Interesting. Okay.
That's skill development of the younger ones. Not to talk of what I was known for when I was a teacher. Don't forget, I'm a teacher, developing the skills of. And today, some of the people that have developed their skills, they are senators, they are rep members, they are ministers, they are governors. We do respect. The former governor of Kogi State was my student. We do respect today in Senate. Out of 109, I think I can boast of about 7 of them that are my former students. Same, about 60 of them in House of Rep. So, I think it's that aspect. Developing the skills of the people is one thing that I've imbibed over the years, that I still stand by, that I'm still known for. And today in my institute, before I took over in the institute, directorship were brought in from outside. It's under my tutelage that I insisted, look, the younger one that were there, we are going to develop their capacity, regardless of where they come from, whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Christian, or Muslim. I'm developing their capacity, and they should grow to help develop the department of the institute. So to the glory of God today, I have almost all my directors as people from within that institute of just for something years old. Nobody's up to 50 among them.
Wow.
And they're all from within. And they're doing very well. So if that's one aspect of one market, areas that I want Nigerians to do me for, is in my passion for developing the younger ones. You understand? You are developing younger ones, you are developing the future of this country.
Very true.
Not just giving them knowledge, but mentoring them. So I take my time, even as the DJ of the institutes, to talk to them one-on-one, informal mentorship. Get to sit there, talk to you, do this. As yesterday, I was doing the same thing. Wow. So this is what I am known for. This is what I do.
Okay.
You understand? So today at the institute, you come to our institute, you see arrays of young people. You understand? When I got to the institute, there was a policy I made on ground, which said that if you're a non-academic staff, you don't go for PhD, you don't go for masters. I stop it. So today at the institute, I have some of non-academic staff that I encourage to go for PhD, and today they are PhD holders. So when it comes to capacity building,
I see. Okay.
Developing the capacity of the younger ones,
right,
I think is one area of my of my weakness that nobody can force.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's this area that I want, and when you are doing it, please, you don't try to bring all this primordial sentiment in. Don't say, oh, I'm a Muslim, I developed out of Muslim. I'm a Christian. No, it's not done that way. We can only grow this country if we're able to grow our manpower, regardless of, because when I go to Apple to go and buy spare part, I will not ask the spare part seller whether it's Igbo or Christians. What I want is my capital fixed. When you go to Abattoir to buy, meat, you don't ask the food animal whether it's a Muslim or Christian. What you want is to put food on the table of your husband and your family. So, at the point where people doing this, one thing we must de-emphasize as a people, as a leader in this country, is this factor of religiosity, ethnicity, sectionalism, which has divided the country a lot and which has been an impediment towards the growth and development of our nation. So,
it has.
To answer your question, capacity building advancement is my striking, projects which I'm known for and which I want to be known for.
Fantastic. That's amazing. All right. Now, this question, I know you're not prepared for it, but I have to ask it. If you were not DG Niels, if you were not Professor Abubakar Sulaiman, if you're not an academic, a politician, what other alternate life do you imagine that you would be living? If you
imagine?
Were not, yes.
When you said the word imagine, that could be confusing enough.
So you're clearly an academic, a politician.
Because already I'm a professor,
leader.
I'm an academic. So now that I've brought all this together, I could now say yes. If I were not to be all this, I would have said, okay,
what would you
I saw the gifts in me. I was good in singing. Maybe I've been a musician.
Okay.
I saw the gifts in me, the endowment in me as a cleric. Maybe I've been a cleric because my father was, my grandfather was, came from that. But after assembling all the little knowledge I got from the universities everywhere, and I now thought, okay, if I'm not DG, if I wasn't a minister, because I read international relations, I've studied a lot of diplomatic books, I would love to be a diplomat. In fact, I just said in my one day recent interview, I think you're part of the interview. They asked me, okay, now we are leaving as DG very soon. Yeah, we learn maybe you want to delve into this area. If that doesn't work, what again? Another thing? And I keep the answer to the question is, I would love to be a diplomat.
Right.
Because if you ask my students, people that have passed through me in the university, they will tell you, oh, one of the courses they took when they are in university was world politics, foreign policy. Oh, and our lecturer was Sulaiman. Sincerely yours, I would love to end my life as a diplomat. When it comes to professional callings. I want to represent this country at the highest level. Wow. Because a diplomat is as good as a president of the country. You can get so many things done
I agree.
if you have the requisite diplomatic prowess and personnel all over.
Right.
You understand?
It doesn't matter the country, right?
It doesn't matter the country.
Okay.
And I believe, quite frankly, that one of the areas this government needs to look into is in that aspect.
Okay.
We must come up with a clear-cut foreign policy objective. Okay. And it's high time we assemble, you understand, and deploy various, head of diplomatic, apparatus all over.
Yeah.
Our ambassador need to be, decided, and they should be placed, because there are certain things head of consular or mission they cannot do.
They cannot do.
Only ambassador can do it. You understand? It's high time it's a president, and I want to believe he's going to do it.
Okay.
Look into that. So if anybody wants to give me any appointment now, if you don't give me governor, which I want to be, and I would love to be, try me with, diplomatic assignments, and I will do it diligently. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Oh, well, you heard it from your lips to God's ears. Okay, before we wrap it up, what's one birthday wish? I mean, you turned 6 in a few weeks, like I said. What's one birthday wish you have? Just one.
Really? The only birthday wish I have is to pray for this country.
Okay.
To be great.
To be great.
And I believe this country will be great.
Thank you so much, sir.
I believe in the leadership of our presidents and the areas of our, lawmakers. With the right thinking, with the right leadership, with the right vision, Nigeria is going to be greater than what we even anticipate.
All right. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Director General, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILT, Professor Abubakar Olanrewaju Sulaiman. You heard him, so you can decide for yourself whether what I said earlier is true. Legacy conscious, deep thinker, analytical, academic, political scientist, name it, he is it. It's been an absolute pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for taking my time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Remember that you can watch on YouTube at Democracy Radio at 104.9 FM, and you can listen on radio Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Don't go away.